Hi, I'm Carolyn, and today I'm going to go over everything that I eat in a day. I'm 59 years old. Although I'm not a nutritionist, this is something that I have studied so much. Nutrition is so important. And although nutrition was always important to me, once I hit 50 and menopause began, that is something that I dove deep into the weeds in, just researching everything I could. I don't like taking pills or supplements, and I believe that nutrition is the answer. So it's just my personal opinion. I'm just gonna talk about what I personally eat, and my diet has had an evolution. It's really learning how to listen to your body and giving your body exactly what it needs, because we all have different needs. But I will share with you what I do, what I eat, and how I think nutrition is so important to us. And this is one of those things, I always talk about building this community for us older gals because we have such unique issues. This is one of them. I feel like all of us, once we hit 50, that's kind of like a sweet spot where menopause really starts setting in and our bodies change. It's something that no one else can understand. Younger people cannot understand. You can't explain it to them as much as you try until you've gone through it and experienced it. And a lot of people, I don't know if it's a lot of people, but there are some people that don't deal with menopause the way others do. I know my mother really had no symptoms. She just seemed to slide through it, no problem. One of my sisters, I know the same thing. I was not one of those lucky ones. Menopause was not good to me, but I really dove deep into healing myself through nutrition. One of the top things that really helped me was eliminating sugar from my diet. And even though I'm not a big sweet eater, it was life-changing. But I made a video on it where I can't remember what it was called. If you're in menopause, stop eating sugar. Like, no one watched it because people were like, I don't know, they were like, I'd rather have menopausal symptoms than stop eating sugar. So I know people like eating sugar. For me, it was a little easier, but there's sneaky ways that they put sugar into things that have no business being in any type of food. So really important is avoiding processed food and things with a lot of preservatives in it, and always read the ingredient list because they will put sugar in just about anything. It makes you crave food, and that is their goal. I actually have a little story about how I gained weight. I mean, I have sort of been pretty much the same weight ever since I gave birth to my son like 32 years ago. A variant from 5 pounds here or there, but a pretty consistent weight my entire life. But I have a little fridge upstairs that I keep in the laundry room. I keep water in there. So I have some Perrier and I have some water, and sometimes I'll get those bottles of Diet Sprite or Diet Ginger Ale or something, and I'll have some of those in there just as a little special treat. And it helps if I have a little sugar craving, just a little drink of something sweet sometimes helps. But here's my story. I accidentally got regular, I can't remember if it was 7-Up or Sprite. So like I said, I will sometimes just take a little sip, screw the little top back on, and put it back in my little drink fridge. But I started drinking the whole bottle and then going back for a second bottle. And this kept increasing as the time went on. And my weight began to go up, and I was like freaking out. I'm like, nothing has changed in my diet. Nothing has changed in my life. What is going on? Aging sucks. I'm just gaining weight for absolutely no reason. Then I just happened to notice that it was full of sugar. It just was regular Sprite. It was making me crave more, and it was making me gain weight. When I realized that I was unintentionally just filling my body up with sugar, like it just was, it was so upsetting. But it was an easy fix because I just stopped drinking it and it was fine. But that is a perfect example of how sugar, number one, will make you gain weight, and number two, make you crave more sugar. So that is why I get it. Nobody wants to watch my video about talking about eliminating sugar, but I'm telling you, ladies, you can sweeten things with other sweeteners. And I do that, and it does not have the same effect at all. So anyways, let's get into what I eat in a day. That's what makes this group unique, is that we have these things that we can relate to, and we should be here to encourage and give each other advice. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share the video with friends that are our age so that we can build this community and just have an awesome place to come. Hit the bell so that you can be reminded we got our girl time every Wednesday and Saturday. Let's head down to my kitchen and see how Carolyn starts her morning. Good morning. I just woke up, and the first thing I like to do is come down and make myself a cup of tea. I'm not a coffee drinker. I've never drank coffee. I've never liked it, but I love a good cup of tea. Must be the Canadian in me, but I love tea. So I make myself a tea. I'm a morning person, so I wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I think I'm a lot for some people in the morning. My husband's kind of like, let's take it down a couple of notches. So, you know, I'm I'm cheery in the morning, but come like 7 o'clock at night and I'm sleepy. So, so I am gonna make myself a cup of tea. Actually, I have my tea drawer that has all my different teas. My favorite, let me show you my favorite. I get it in this big box from Amazon. It's the lemon and ginger. I just really like the taste. I just really drink herbal teas. But right now, my garden is so full of mint. I planted it last year and it just came back in a vengeance. So I've been actually drinking mint tea every morning, which is like my super favorite thing to do. And so I'm just gonna go outside and I'm gonna pick some mint and come out. I usually get a big bushel of it and then I just keep it inside in just a little bit of water. And then whenever I want it, it's just there on the counter. So I'm just gonna grab a bit. It poured last night, like it really rained hard, so everything looks fresh. But I will, of course, go in and give everything a good washing. Penelope is here, saying hello. It's early for her to be up. So my mint is all nice and washed, and I just grab just a bunch of it, and I just throw it in there. And then the rest of it, I'm just gonna stick in here. Hot water right here, so I just fill it up with hot water. And then this is my cup that I use every day to drink out of. So I'm just gonna fill this up with cold water, well, room temperature water. I love room temperature water. And then this is the electrolyte that I use, LYTE Show. It's just really good because it has no sugars, no calories, non-GMO, it's vegan, it's made in the USA. And I just really leave it here. And whenever I'm thirsty or whenever I'm walking past and I see it, I take a little drink. Now I'm gonna take this upstairs and start getting ready. I am going to go to play pickleball at the Y. It's way too hot to play outside, so I like playing inside. They just have an open court where anyone can come and you just play with whoever shows up. So I'm just gonna go do that. And then right after pickleball, there's a really fun dance class. So I stay for dance class. It's only 45 minutes. So then after the dance class, there's a half-hour bar class. So I'm gonna do all of that today. So I need to get going. So something about the way I eat is I intermittent fast. So I have been intermittent fasting before it ever had a name. I have a video about intermittent fasting. If you want to go watch that, it'll give you an idea if you don't know what it is. Everyone seems to know what it is nowadays, but I always ate that way. My body told me to eat that way from a very little girl. As soon as I had the power to make my own decisions, I just ate when I was hungry. So I started eating a lot later in the day. I mean, it's nothing set in stone. I eat when I'm hungry, and I'm not usually hungry before 2 or 3 or 4 in the afternoon. And then I just have a small snack, and then I have my dinner after that. If you do the research on intermittent fasting, which I have done oodles and doodles and doodles of research on intermittent fasting, and it's pretty amazing how it heals your body. That time that you give your body a break for atrophy to set in and really work away at healing your cells, it's so good, so important. So I love my tea and I love my water, and as I told you, I don't drink coffee. That's not because I'm against coffee, it's because I don't like the taste of coffee. So I've never, ever drank coffee. And one of the teas that I drink during the day will have apple cider vinegar in it. 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. But if you do any sort of research on apple cider vinegar, you'll realize that there are a ton of health benefits. Okay, so let me go over some of the benefits of apple cider vinegar. Reduces bloating, which I think most of us can relate to that one. That's a big one for me. It helps with the absorption of vitamins and minerals. It cancels out some of the carbs, so it could help with weight loss. Gives you energy. I definitely believe that one. And they say it lowers blood sugar. So, you know, you can do your own research on it, but apple cider vinegar definitely is a healthy thing to add into your diet. So I'm gonna go to play pickleball in about an hour. So this is a good time for me to have my apple cider vinegar. I make tea and then I just add it into the tea. Important to know about apple cider vinegar, like obviously Bragg's is one of the good ones, it's organic, and the thing you want to look for is that it says with the mother. So that's at the bottom. You see like weird stuff, you just shake it up and make sure that mother is in there. And so I just make my tea and then I add 2 tablespoons of the apple cider vinegar to it. And here's my water that keeps sitting on the counter all day. I've already had 1 full cup and I filled it up again. I already had my first cup with my electrolytes in. If I drink any more during the day, I don't add any more electrolytes. I just do that first one on the first cup. And then just if I get thirsty, I drink. And I probably go through 2 of those. I wouldn't say more than that. I have other things that I drink. I'll have maybe a bottle of Perrier water. As you know, I have a lot of tea. So this is gonna be good to have about an hour before I go play pickleball because it's gonna give me energy. So this is really good. I have an empty stomach. It's also good to have on an empty stomach. I always have it on an empty stomach, but that's easy for me because as I told you, I intermittent fast. So doing this video is helping me to realize that I may not eat for a lot of the day, but I do a lot of drinking. So another one of the teas that I really like is cinnamon tea. And I know I do have a video on the benefits of cinnamon, and that actually really helped me to reduce a little extra belly fat. I did it as a little experiment because I had seen a video about cinnamon and how that could help with belly fat. So I did it as an experiment for like 10 days or something, and I was like, what? This works. And then since then, I drink it pretty much every day. If I remember, I put about 3 tablespoons of cinnamon into a cup of hot water and drink it like that. It's a long process because you have to keep stirring it. I add more water, stir it, add more water because that's a lot of cinnamon in 1 cup of tea. So exercise. Obviously, exercise is very important for us as we're aging. We need to move our bodies. We need to stretch. We need to get out there and work those muscles, and just even a little bit of cardio is really good. But how does it affect weight loss? I'm thinking very, very, very little. On the days that I don't get to the gym, those days are rare for me because I'm a workoutaholic, but on those days, I will lose weight because I'm just not as hungry. So exercise is important in just mental health. 100%. I do not exercise because I want to look a certain way. I exercise for every other benefit that comes with it, mostly just the way I feel. It just helps me be happy. It just clears up any fog that's in my head. And so exercise is very important, but for weight loss, not so much. I don't think so. Nutrition is 99.9%, if not 100%. That is how you're gonna lose weight, if you're looking to lose weight. So cooking has always kind of been my jive. I love finding a recipe that maybe isn't as healthy and then figuring out ways to make it healthy. But these things are time consuming. And I used to spend a lot of time in the kitchen, and thank you, YouTube, I don't really have that much time anymore to be doing that. And I can't even tell you how time consuming YouTube is, but I sort of haven't been spending a lot of time in the kitchen. And so I have been finding other ways to eat healthy and not be constantly in the kitchen. So I'm gonna show you a recipe that I do. I like to do things that I can make something and it's gonna last me a couple of days, because of course, if my husband's home, it's just me and my husband, and he travels a lot. So if it's just me, I still want to be eating healthy, and I have no desire to get in the kitchen and cook if it's just for me. I'm just gonna do something super simple, and I want to avoid it being unhealthy. So I'm gonna show you a recipe that I do that is easy to do ahead and will last. And I have things from Costco that I will get, and I can keep them in the freezer, and in a pinch, I know I can grab those and they're still pretty healthy. So let's head down to my kitchen again, and I'll just show you how I put this quick little, I mean, it's not even a recipe, but just to show you something that I enjoy eating that I can make ahead of time. Okay, so what I'm gonna make is just ground beef. I get it from Costco. It comes in a pack of 3, and it's organic. It is 85% lean. It's raised without antibiotics, that's important. No added growth hormones, that's important. So that is what I'm going to just cook that up. Then I'm gonna add some rosemary. I just ran outside, it's pouring rain, but I grabbed an umbrella and I went on my bare feet, and it was really fun. It's a nice thunderstorm. I missed those while I lived in California, but Texas has great thunderstorms. So I got my rosemary, and the only other thing I'm really gonna add is some black pepper and some delicious Redmond's salt. This is delicious salt. The other thing I'm gonna add to it is some onions. So here is one of the lazy things that I have started doing. In my previous life before YouTube, I would never have dreamt of buying the chopped up onions from Whole Foods, but now I like to save time. I did that. I'm also gonna add some olives. So these olives are stuffed, and I'm just gonna put them in whole. Anything to give a little more healthy fat is good, so I'm gonna add that into it. Okay, so my ground beef is ready. I've drained off the excess fat, and I'm just gonna add in some onions. Then I will chop up my rosemary and add in that. I love the smell of any fresh herb that is being chopped up. Delicious. Dump that in. I'm gonna add some pepper. I don't have a measurement, but I would say to your taste, but probably 1/4 of a teaspoon, and then maybe a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm just gonna dump in my olives, put them all in. I'm going to actually add some beef broth. Get this Kettle and Fire beef broth. It comes in different flavors. This one is turmeric, ginger, bone broth, and it's just really good to add that collagen in. Just make it a little bit saucy. Probably pour this whole thing in. It's just a matter of how saucy you kind of want it to be. I'm gonna let it simmer in there so that all the flavors can come together and the onions can soften up. And that is as incredibly easy as it is. It's nothing fancy, but this is definitely something that I am going to enjoy eating, and it's something I can just have some for the next several nights. And now moving on to my rice. Buying this pre-frozen rice cauliflower is also something I would never have done. I would totally have steamed the cauliflower and chopped it all up, but I just do not have the time to do that anymore. So you can buy them and you can get it at Costco, but I forgot, so I just got it at Whole Foods. This one that I get from Whole Foods actually comes with some things in it. It has vegan olive oil, garlic, parsley, and sea salt already in there, so I need to keep that in mind when I'm making my recipe. So here, I did actually chop something up. I got a bell pepper. There's so many nutritious things in bell pepper, so I'm gonna add that in there. A little other cheaty thing, I got some celery already chopped up. I'm gonna add that in there. Warm this up. The cauliflower is frozen, so it's just gonna soften. For my salad, unfortunately, I don't do well with greens, but I do seem to do all right with spinach. So I just get the baby spinach and I grab a handful of it. I take some feta cheese, sprinkle that on there. And then the only other thing I add is salt and pepper and olive oil. And I'm not gonna do that right away because I'm not ready to eat dinner yet, but just that is what the salad would be. And then I might put a quarter of an avocado in there. Have you guys seen this little thing? I've had it for years, love it. It's so easy. See this thing right here? We'll take the core out. This part right here scoops it out. And then I just take about half of a half, which makes a quarter, right? My math is pretty bad, but I think that's an easy one. Okay, and that is what my salad is going to be. So let me show you some of the things that I get from Costco. They're not great, but in a pinch, they're better than other things. This is egg bites. I get them with the cheese and the bacon. They have different flavors, but because I get it with the bacon, it's so hard to find bacon that doesn't have sugar in it. It's in the very bottom of the ingredient list in parentheses, so it's a small amount of sugar, but like I told you, they put sugar in everything. So is there sugar in the ingredients of this? Yes, there's sugar in the ingredients of every one of these things. The other thing I like are these little egg witches instead of sandwich with in these little packages. So these are all really quick things that are better than other things, but still, you know, they have preservatives and they have sugar. It also has canola oil. I mean, there's things in here that you don't want to be consuming on a very regular basis, but when you're in a pinch, these things are better. And then these things, these are my guilty pleasure. They're so yummy. This one has buckwheat, cornstarch, canola oil. I mean, yes, they're far down, but they're in there. I don't want that in my body. So, you know, these things, if done in moderation, they're better than other things. Read the ingredients, people. If things that are marketed as keto friendly, it says right there. Because I really do follow a ketogenic diet. Keto friendly, but it's got sugar in it. Keto diet doesn't have sugar in it. So just keep those things in mind. I mean, I just don't have the time to be in the kitchen the way I used to. So I just have to pick and choose what is less bad, I guess. And these three things are some of my go-tos. So today is one of those days where I got busy and I forgot that it was around my snack time, but guess who never forgets? Penelope came and got me and she said, come on mama, it's time for snack time, because that's when we sit together and we have a little mama and baby time. So I'll show you what I usually have for my snack. 2 soft-boiled eggs that I put a little mayonnaise in. Be careful with mayonnaise. That definitely has sugar in it. I can link the one that I use. You want to get something for sure, of course, that doesn't have sugar in it, because you do not need sugar in mayonnaise. Trust me. Some nuts and good quality cheese. This is Robusto. Oh, I love this cheese, and I'm not a cheese person, but it is really yummy. So don't get processed cheese, don't get Kraft sliced cheeses, get good quality cheese. And this is my little snack, and this is going to tide me over until dinner. Another reason nutrition is really important to me is because both my parents got Alzheimer's. So I am always trying to find ways to avoid that because it feels like that is something that may be in my future. So I want to really keep myself as healthy as possible. Medication is keeping us alive so much longer. Life expectancy is so much longer than it ever has been. I don't know if you've noticed that my mission statement for this channel is live longer, not die longer. So both my parents lived a very long life, but their last 10 to 15 years, that was no way to live. So I don't just want to exist until an old age. I want to live a healthy life to the end. So that is another reason why really staying as healthy as I can is so important to me. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea of what I eat in a day, how I eat in a day, kind of what I do in a day. And if you have tips and tricks that have helped you through menopause, leave those in the comments. We're here to glean and learn from each other. So please don't forget to do that. That helps us all out. And there you go, another day done. Thanks for hanging out with me. Talk to you later. Bye.